Lone Star Land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look in my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the blue bonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Gummy shoe prints, laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy sloop. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops.
Sebastian, sweet boy, where have you gone? The sun sets low, but we keep marching on. The wind whispers your name soft through the pines, a melody aching in these hearts of mine. Roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastian? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains. You deserve better, oh you deserve better. And your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang like bells through the air. Now silence just lingers, it's more than we can bear. We carry your memory, a flag in our hands. Through shadows and valleys, through shifting sands. The roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastian? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains. You deserve better, Oh, you deserve better, and your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang through heartache and pain.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Thank you so much for being here today. Happy Sunday, everyone. I appreciate y'all being here. Hi, Miss Rhonda. Hi, Texas Plain Jane. Hello, Miss Kathy. Let's see here. Kimberly, hello to you. Hi, Dan. Hi, Jacqueline. Lisa King, hello to you. Teresa, hello, hello. Let's see who else we got in here with us. Wannabe Sleuthin. Hello, beautiful. And anybody else coming in with us? Hey, Tam, how you doing? Hey, Cinderella, how are you? Thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. Let me do something real quick so I can keep up. Chat is skipping again. It gets all, I don't understand, but it gets super crazy. Super crazy, super crazy, and it will freeze. So let me try to pull up chat on my phone. That way I have got everybody. All righty, there we go. Hey, Daisy, good to see you. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank y'all so much. Hey, Nisi, how are you doing? Hope everybody's good. Nothing is going on. Yep, he's just walking around, walking around, walking around. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Those of you that joined us last night over on What the Fuss, I hope y'all enjoyed that. It was something different. Had a good laugh or two. So thank y'all for being there for that. Today we're going to listen to a few things and talk about some stuff in the Miss Nancy's case. Few little details are starting to come out, and I believe law enforcement kind of started getting smart and keeping everything a little bit more quieter. I honestly believe that last raid that was done for her was quite the circus, and it should never be like that. Hey, Angel, doing? Jesus is coming soon. I would happen to agree with you. So I want to start. I'm trying to figure out which way to go. Okay, let me start with this. I was watching the other night when the raid was all in pursuit. Oh, goodness, Teresa. Well, I hope you got some rest. But during the whole SWAT pursuit and all the media leaving in front of Miss Nancy's house, traveling here and there, going all over town, trying to figure out where the heck to go, what to see, what to do, where to go, following each other. Everybody's parked down every street in a certain neighborhood, and it wasn't even that neighborhood. The people living there came out wanting to know what's going on because their neighborhood became overran with cars, and come to find out it wasn't even the right spot. During that time, JLR stayed parked in that neighborhood because that was one of the addresses he was sent. He had already been previously to an apartment complex and got to see a person that was detained. He went to the next address. He had 2 addresses. He went to the next one, he chose one, and that's where they all ended up being at a certain point. Dolly went to him, to his window, and said, "Hey, look, we just got this lead. I'm going here. This is where they're saying it's all going down." Well, that location, when he looked it up, was about 40 minutes away. So Dolly took off and went there. I was streaming JLR live. And during all of that, I pulled up Dolly's just so I could keep up with him in case he got there and that was the actual place and all the action was going to be happening there. I could switch over very quickly. So Dolly gets to the location, which happened to be an apartment complex there. There was a sheriff sitting out there. He drove on past. Nothing looked like it was really happening. Looked like maybe the sheriff was just kind of patrolling through there, but he happened to have his lights on. But nothing was going down, especially nothing SWAT related. So from there, Dolly heads back. So I'm watching him and still showing JLR. Well, JLR decided he was going to go towards the second address. They had started getting lots of reports. Hey, you need to come here. You need to come here. This is where the road's blocked off. So they start making their way. Dolly gets closer. I'm thinking, okay, I got both. Go in here. Whichever has the most action, we'll watch it. Dolly got there. The road's blocked off. Police cars are everywhere. And so he parked his car in a shopping center parking lot. He got out of his car and he walked towards where all the action was, had his camera going and everything. And so from there, Dolly got pretty close up. And he turned around and started saying, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I can't believe what I just saw. Oh my God. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." And he got in his car and he went to move and he stopped his car and he's like, "Oh," he said, I gotta go. And he ended his live. He comes back live and he said he had to call his girlfriend and say, "Hey, take that live down now. Take it off. Put it on private. So no one can see it," because he wasn't sure exactly what he caught on camera. So when he came back, he's telling everybody this, and he said, "Because when I walked up there, I couldn't believe what I saw. What I saw was what happens when a gun is fired to a head. I saw what was left everywhere." Those were his words. He was very upset. He couldn't believe it. You could tell it shook him up. You could tell it really, really, really bothered him. You could tell he couldn't find his words. He said, "Oh my God," about 500 million one times. And then that live ended not long after it started because he was just too shook up. At that point, he didn't come back on. He didn't come back on. He didn't do a post or anything from there. He ended up leaving that night early the next morning to go home. He did a live last night that explained everything. I hadn't even had a chance to go over there and to watch it. But I repeated the words that he said. There was so much information in real time being thrown out there. Okay. I said, nobody has confirmed this. This is what Dolly saw. This is what Dolly said. I was looking, but I'm looking at the cop cars to see which one said SWAT on it. I was not looking at the ground. I don't even know if Dolly got it on his live or not. All I remember was these are just cop cars. What's going on? There's vehicles around here. What this wasn't making sense because it wasn't a SWAT. So I repeated the words what Dolly had said. It was told later on that the house that they went to SWAT, there were 2 men that actually left that home. And that's who was actually stopped. Yeah, Miss Kathy, he was very shaken. I was a little worried about him because of his heart issues and everything that he's had, you know? Nobody should have to see that. But from what I was learning and everything I was seeing and hearing, people left that house and snuck out and ran from SWAT. When SWAT realized it, they went after. Supposedly, there were 2 men in that truck. Not quite sure as to the exact pinpointed details as to whether one pulled the trigger on the other or one pulled the trigger on himself. But that's the story that was being put out there. Last night over on Brittany's, I was just talking a little bit and oh, no, that's not the story. Someone ran over his head. Okay, I don't know. So let me show you, just so everybody knows, because you know how these streets are, they're complete idiots out there, that when you say the words, nothing has been confirmed. This is all that I'm hearing. Okay. So just so we get it correct, this is what's out there. 3 individuals had reportedly been detained. A man and a woman from inside the residence, and another man stopped in traffic who is believed to have been returning to the home. Some reports suggest the man from the traffic stop may have been pew-pewed and could be critically injured or deceased. Let's move on to just one more. One unalive after Nancy Guthrie probe erupts into SWAT chaos. 3 people were detained and another pew-pewed himself in the head during a SWAT operation tied to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. The Pima County Sheriff's Department confirmed the raid was connected to the case. Deputies blocked East, however you say those words, and East Camino de Maco as the neighborhood 2 miles from Nancy's home was thrown into lockdown. Source: News for Tucson. News for Tucson. Those were the reports that were being put out. Those were the things that were being said. Okay, Nisi, if you can go onto the vertical live because there's a horizontal. Wait, go to the horizontal side because you're on the vertical one. And so you can get and chat with everybody else. Yeah, he said that's what that it was that guy, because that's what the news channel was putting out. That guy was running from the SWAT team. Dolly saw what happened with his very own eyes to that guy. It really shook him up. But that's what was being put out there, okay? At no point until last night, people in chat saying someone ran over his head. Then you've got the gray SUV that they had actually been looking for this whole entire time. Later, you see a picture of the gray SUV being put out, and there are two officers standing on the side of it with the hatch open, and they've got yellow sheet type things up there so that nobody could see into the back. Well, then there was rumors that Miss Nancy's body was inside there. This is what happens, folks, when there is real-time action happening and nothing being confirmed, nothing being verified. Just what people are seeing, they hear a little something, put it out there, it turns into this and it turns into that, and everybody has a different version. So when you're in real time, you can't give anything as actual facts. I felt like Dolly saw with his very own eyes a man laying there with his head blown off. He could actually say it because that was a fact he saw. Yeah. Miss Kathy says, yes, ma'am, Lolly. And Dolly Vision showed the news articles that the guy unalived himself, and they don't want it talked about, in my opinion. And I am not a DV fan, but I did watch him. Yeah. Exactly, Patty. It's like playing the game of telephone. When anything, if we're all going to be in this, and there's going to actually be boots on the ground at any type of true crime happenings, and there's action taking place, and things start happening like this ever again, we got to do a better job. We can't put things out as facts because we don't know. And that's why I said this is just what I heard and what had been put out there. I should never, ever have to repeat those words 500 times over and over and over and over and over. There was not, to this date, an official statement put out about that actual event. No press conference made. Nothing like that had ever happened until it was all over and done with. And I believe it was yesterday afternoon when something finally got put out. So here we go from the man had a pew pew to his head. The man pew pewed his own head. For some reason, somehow, the man's laying on the ground and a car runs over his head. There's a white van, there's a gray SUV, there's her body or a body in the back of an SUV. There's, guys, it's ran rapid, very, very fast. All of these different versions of what really happened, and nobody really actually knew. The one person that was inside the perimeter that was allowed inside that perimeter was Brian Inton, and he told us 2 people came out, a mother and a son. They were detained. SWAT went in and brought out multiple things as evidence. We know that. That's what he saw with his very own eyes. He was right there. Now, if we're going to get down to all the nuts and bolts of everything, there's been some new developments and some new details being put out. We've talked about already the fact that the sheriff doesn't like the FBI and the FBI is pissed at the sheriff. Is that even true? We don't know. They've never confirmed that. If something ever happens again in Tucson, Arizona, in Pima County, I'm going to pretty much guarantee nothing will be broadcasted. Nothing. They will go on a lockdown channel that nobody has access to. Pretty much what we're seeing outside of Miss Nancy's house yesterday and today is going to be all it's probably going to be. Okay. Thank you. But to get something correctly, we're going to go over what Brian Inton said. New from FBI. Okay. He is getting his information from the FBI. They are sharing it with him. His reporting has been from them. The gloves found approximately 2 miles from the Guthrie residence in a field near the side of the road were packaged up by Pima County. I don't know what the O is, but the sheriff's office, and sent overnight on February the 12th. They arrived at their private lab in Florida on February 13th. The FBI received preliminary results yesterday on February 14th and are awaiting quality control and official confirmation today before putting unknown male profile into CODIS, the national database unique to the Bureau. This process typically takes 24 hours from the Bureau receives the DNA. Investigators collected approximately 16 gloves in various areas near the house. Most of them were searchers' gloves that they discarded in various areas when they searched the vicinity. I got an issue with that part. We'll talk about it in just a minute, but the one with the DNA profile recovered is different and appears to match the gloves of the subject in the surveillance video. The FBI has and will continue to provide assistance on whatever timeline is provided to us. Guys, this was put out today at 12:03 p.m. Came from the FBI. Now, my only issue here is most of them were searchers' gloves that they discarded in various areas when they searched the vicinity. Okay. Hold on to your gloves. Don't be throwing them down in the wilderness. Other than that, there we go. Over and done. Folks, they have collected other gloves. They have received profiles from the DNA collected. And now I want to go to one thing before we start talking about the gloves. Do y'all recall the white van that was talked about in the very beginning where law enforcement had been looking for a white van? JLR was driving one day down a gravel road and he's like, oh, looky here. Okay. No, that doesn't look like the white van they were looking for. There happened to be a white van pulled over on the side of the road, but it wasn't the style of van. It was a very unique van, like one of those travel vans that you can actually stand up in and maybe put a bed in it or something, you know. So, very unique. I want to play something here. I want us all to take a look at something. Here we go. Now, that home that was raided that night had several people that was staying there. There was a woman and her son that came out the front door. Voluntarily walked out the front door. Is it possible one or two might have went out the back door to wherever that white van was at? Just asking because I'm going to show you something right here. This is from JLR the night that he got to the area. This is the barricaded area. All the action was happening back down that away. Okay. No car has left that area. There's been a few vehicles that came to go in to help search and things. But we're watching here. We're going to start right here. See these lights coming right here? There's a sheriff sitting right there. Hold on. He's going to go back over to that area where the cones are at. Because this guy right here is the one that's going to move the cones. See all those news people over there? Okay. Here comes a vehicle here. This is, you can tell that's law enforcement walking through. He's moving cones out of the way. This is the first vehicle that goes out. Hang tight. We're just watching it as it happened. This truck's going to go right here. He's going to get turned around. Okay, here goes this police. You can see police on that truck. Here goes the cones back out. He's going to go over here and sit for a minute. I'm not going to speed up because I don't want to miss any part of this right here. But I want everybody to pay close attention. Because the home itself that's being swatted is a good distance down. a pretty big distance down there to where you can't see it all happening from where they're at right there. So he goes back over there. This is the guy in charge. You saw the truck went out a while ago. Guys, I hope I didn't go past it. He's standing guard. There were two young boys that were walking back home from their buddy's house to go home because it was their curfew time. They didn't have identification on him. That man wouldn't let them go in there. So they had to call their daddies to come walk up there to get them. Yes, Texas Plain Jane, several empty homes in that area. Just wondering, can one of them be used as a parking location? Let's see here. Let me double check myself just to make sure, but I think it's coming up. Let me make sure. There goes a vehicle in. Okay, hold on. Let's look at this one coming out because I don't think there was any before it. I might have overshot it. Hold on. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. Here he goes doing his job again. Oh, well, wait a minute. What do we see here? What do we see here? We see a white van with that real tall top on it and no markings on it. None. Does anybody see a license plate? Because the white van didn't have a license plate on it, and you can't really see if there's a license plate on this one or not. But this is the type of van that they were looking for. Did two of those men go running out the back, get in this van somewhere they had parked back up in there somewhere, and come out? Because this is the exact kind of van they were looking for. And it's hard to tell, but let's look at it again and see if we can see a license plate. Oh, wait. Did everybody looky there? Let's watch again. No license plate, y'all. Here it comes. Here it comes. No license plate on the front of that vehicle. I have no idea. I don't live there and I don't count them, Dan. I can't give you that number. All I know is this is the type of van that they have been looking for several days. And it had no license plates. And we happen to have one coming out while SWAT is just about going in. So I wanted to show you that because I think that is a possibility that could have been the white van that they had been looking for. And so I'm going to stop that. We're going to go to this next video put out by Fox News here. Let me get back over. Hold on. Let me share this one. We're going to go about the gloves now. All righty, guys. Here we go. You just start.
Breakthrough in the search for Nancy Guthrie, a glove inside the 84-year-old's home has been discovered and sent to a lab in Florida by the Pima County Sheriff's Office.
However, federal agents are likely to retest the new evidence since it was not sent to the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia. Fox News contributor Paul Morrow actually asked the FBI about the role they will play in examining DNA evidence just a week ago. Watch.
Will the Bureau be submitting the DNA for investigative genealogical investigation relative to maybe getting a relative, somebody if you want?
I would say the DNA aspect of this case is being handled by the Pima County Sheriff's Department right now. However, should we get to that point, yes, that would be an option for the FBI to assist.
You are watching Fox and Friends First here on a Friday morning.
Okay, that was the sheriff of Pima County and the director of the FBI that was there on the case. I wanted y'all to hear that little bit of that conference. We're going to go to Megyn Kelly here. Some very interesting things that he tells us about a potential phone that possibly might have slipped out of a pocket. Let's listen to this. Hold on, I'm trying to get it down. I'm sorry, Abby, I didn't see your comment. What did you want to play again? Did you want to hear that little bit about the press conference or the white van part? Sorry, Abby, I just saw your comment. It is crazy. It is. It is, Tam. It is absolutely crazy. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start this, but Abby, if you let me know, I can go pull it back up if I need to and play it for you again. Now, this was a picture of what they were putting in the back of a car. Miss Kathy, you don't have anything? Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Let me pull it back and we'll start over again. Let me restart it. Okay, here we go.
So I think the biggest thing that's happened since we last saw you is the tent this morning over the outside of Nancy Guthrie's home. Can you just tell us about that, and then we'll get into this?
Can y'all hear it now? Somebody tell me. I think I left it on the news conference. That was my fault because I wasn't sure if that's what Abby was wanting to hear again. Okay, sound. Okay, here we go. Thank y'all.
The search around the gloves.
Yeah, I had to drive over there and look at it just to see it with my own eyes. And look, it's the kind of thing that I would have expected to see to protect that scene like early on in the investigation. But they put it up, they went inside, and it looks like they were doing some technical video work, which I believe was be designed to maybe get precise height measurements for the perpetrator that we see on the pictures and on the video. And then they took it down as soon as they left. So it went up, they did some work, technical work. Looks like they had some videography equipment as well. Maybe they're doing a crime scene recreation or a video of some type inside there. And then they took it down and they left. So yeah, that was just one of the very interesting. And
this was a picture taken where they had this box with them, and it's an ultra studio. Not sure what it is, not sure what it was for, but it wasn't just measuring they were doing.
And I would say maybe odd things, but I'm sure there's a good explanation for it once we learn what that is. But there are some other things that are going on that are, I think, a little bit peculiar.
Yeah, well,
Now
tell us what they are.
All right, so in the middle of the night, around 2:15 in the morning here in Tucson, the sheriff's forensic folks go out and they search this area just off the side of the roadway, very close to where I'm sitting right now, but also very close to Nancy Guthrie's home. Now, I went back out there today in the daylight, and I took my own video and I looked around, and, I think that if you're looking for something, and by the way, this is not that far from where they found the gloves yesterday, but if you're looking for something, I would say go in the daylight, rather than go out with flashlights. But
right. So you're telling me they went at 2:15 a.m. to the spot searching?
Yeah. And so it's the kind of place where you would look if, like, you can pull out of Nancy's home, right, and you just head back towards Tucson, and that could be the way that you go. It's just one of the expected routes of egress from there.
Okay, now 2:15 in the morning. This is the night or the early morning time, just right after the raid on the house and collecting of all that evidence and things. He's saying they went out there at 2:15 in the morning with flashlights to this area and searched this area. What was it they were looking for? Let's keep listening, guys.
There, right? And so if you found gloves just down the road, it makes sense to search other areas on that road. So that much I get, but I just don't understand why they do it in the dark with flashlights, because I was able to go out there in the broad daylight and I could see very well. I mean,
Here's
there's
the map.
items
We're
of
showing
trash
it
and
on the
other
board
things.
for the.
Okay, this is the map. I'm going to point it out. It says Nancy's home. This is the early morning search area. This is where the gloves were found. It was right beyond this, just a little ways further, where the house was raided. So this kind of gives you an idea of where all of this is at. So you would come out of Miss Nancy's house, you'd go down here and you'd go down to get out of that neighborhood. But that middle red bar is where they searched between where the gloves were found in Miss Nancy's house.
For the viewing audience, you can see Nancy's home is labeled in red at the top of our little map, and then the early AM search happened in the middle there, and then down below the early AM search is where they found those gloves yesterday, which we haven't hit exactly, but people have likely heard about it. Last night, the New York Post happened to be with law enforcement when they found. Now we're told it was a pair of black gloves. At first, the report was it's one glove, and now it's since been confirmed they found a pair. They're not describing them as identical to what they believe the perpetrator here was wearing, but they do look similar. But everyone's quick to point out, Phil, that it's the desert and you really can't function at all in the desert if you're doing any sort of pruning or gardening or cleanup even without gloves, or you're going to walk away pretty bloody. So we have no idea whether these gloves have any relation to the Nancy Guthrie case, but the cops have them and they're being analyzed now. Yes.
Yep, that's my understanding. I think there's a possibility they could be connected, and let me explain why. I haven't been able to develop a source or two of.
That is where the man picked the gloves up. The gloves were right in this bush right here. Right there. Just kind of laying on the top. And if somebody was driving out of that neighborhood, they were coming down and everything. It's on their passenger side coming out of that neighborhood.
Of my own in the short time that I've been here, some people that I've talked to, and it is believed that the perpetrator had a phone in his pocket when you see him in those videos and in the photos at the doorway
Okay, the guy in the ski mask at the doorway. They have analyzed the picture enough to know the man had a cell phone in his pocket. Are y'all with me? Listen very, very closely.
At the Nest camera. And so a cell phone, even if it's turned off, there's ways to track that. And so I believe that the searches that we've seen in the area of both Nancy's home yesterday and higher up in the foothills, all along this Campbell Road, which is where I was this morning, and even over by Annie Guthrie's house, I believe they are sort of following a perceived or believed route of travel, following a device. And specifically, a neighbor over at Annie's neighborhood didn't want to be interviewed on camera, but told me that the FBI had been at her house and that one of the things they were looking for, among other things, was a cell phone. Okay. So
one of many things they were looking for was a cell phone. They have this trail, this pattern that they have been following when they find things. That 2 a.m. search time, they found all those gloves out there. They found another pair of gloves. Is this in line with the phone ping from maybe a phone that got dropped somewhere? Let's listen to what he's saying, because guys, it makes a lot of sense.
So I'm putting all this together, and there's obviously missing pieces, but what it's starting to paint the picture of, for me at least, is the law enforcement officers believe that they have a general route of travel, and they are searching more specifically now along where that phone might have traveled, either going to or from Nancy Guthrie's home.
International disputes, inflation, rising.
Okay, hold on. We're
For
going through her
700
little commercial here.
Gold
Hold on.
in a tax shelter IRA or 401.
We're going to get through her commercial.
Consider letting.
Let's see here.
True, Phil. That's huge. I mean, if they actually have a cell phone now associated potentially with this crime, then we may be hours away from an arrest. Like that, how long would it take them to figure out who owns the cell phone?
Well, that's a good question that I'm not a cell phone expert. I can just tell you what the sources have told me, that's one thing the FBI was trying to find. And if it's a burner, it may take more time. But if it's actually registered to somebody, then yeah, they could very easily have a name. So the FBI is holding these cards very close to the vest. But if there is a cell phone, and I believe there is, and I believe that's the source of a lot of these new searches, that's what's driving this. It's driving the location of where you see the FBI fanning out, searching all around, Annie's house a couple of days ago. And so you put all this together, and I believe that they are working off that sort of a presumption, and they're trying to track down where that phone came and went.
So you're saying your information is based on your sources that they have identified a cell phone that they think may be attached to this crime, and
Yeah.
that they're figuring it out thanks to the cell towers, the possible route that this person took on the night in question, and going and search. And that's what's explaining these overnight searches, because this isn't the first overnight search we've had. We've had a couple of these.
Yeah, and you remember the phones talk to towers, but they also talk to every Wi-Fi router. If you go down any neighborhood and you look on your phone and you see the list of available networks, you may not be joining those networks, but your phone is communicating with those routers. And so,
Oh, kind of like Christopher Proudfoot's truck pinged in the area. Remember that, folks? His phone hit off of a few Wi-Fi connections in their neighborhood. This burner phone did the exact same thing, and they're following that trail. My guess would be they hope it would lead them to where Miss Nancy is, because that's the ultimate goal. Folks, this is the only place this has ever been talked about. Yeah, Patty, don't talk about his truck. Yep, the exact same thing. But nobody's talking about this part. But it sets us up a pattern, a progress being made from Miss Nancy's house, where possibly there was a ping on her internet and it went south or north, whichever way it is getting out of her house. Yeah. Yeah. They were too stupid to know it's his truck. He just thinks we're too stupid to think that it pinged at 1:30 p.m. the day they were searching. No. That boy's silly. Because they were looking at pings prior to 6 a.m. So that would mean 1:30 a.m. Funny how that works. But here we go. Let's finish listening to what he has to say, because he's telling us good information that no one is talking about.
So there is a digital footprint that is left behind by the phone everywhere it goes. They looked, I would say, around Annie's house. I would say that was probably maybe a half-mile radius, if I had to guess, based on what I saw. And I went to the house and I drove all around when the FBI was out there, and I was seeing these teams of agents, and there was some sheriff's deputies out there too, blocks and blocks away. So they were literally fanning out in a large area, which would be consistent with maybe a ping off of a cell phone tower that you can't triangulate it and get a more precise location.
Wow.
But, it seemed to be a pretty large area they were searching, including people's yards, the neighbors' yards. They were looking for any items of relevance. But
well, I mean, if
certainly,
that's what explains
they were looking for a phone.
The activity over at Annie and Tomas's house, then that's even more interesting. That a phone, if it's true, that a phone that police think may have been associated with this crime went back into the Annie and Tomas neighborhood. That's interesting as an investigative matter, and it's also explanatory of why they keep going back over there and canvassing neighbors and so on. And so you're saying you believe that too is based on your sourcing from one presumes people in a position to know on them having a possible phone lead.
Yeah, and look, the fact that you just have to look at the facts. I mean, the investigation is clearly focusing on two general places: the area around Nancy's home and the area around Annie's home. And so the fact that the investigation keeps taking officers to those places, it doesn't take a genius to understand that that's where they think they're going to find evidence. And so they're not there on accident. They weren't out here at 2:15 in the morning by accident either. They were looking for something specific because it wasn't a large search area. They literally went to like this one intersection right where I was, and you showed the video. It's not a big area, so they had a specific place that they were going to, and it was for some reason, we just don't know what it was. It wasn't an accident, though.
And that's two times that they've done something in the middle of the night or in the cover of darkness that easily could have been done during the daytime hours, and we just don't know why. Why was
Okay, so think about this. We know Miss Nancy's pacemaker lost connection with her watch early in the morning hours. Why not go back at that same time to see the area of these pings, to see which route, if they were going through all of this, which would be the better place? Every place they got a ping, they went back there, because you can't just go stand in that shrubbery. It will poke the crap out of you. There's clearings every so often. I'm imagining them going back in the middle of the night to see those cleared areas, to see what evidence, if any, is there. So let's finish this out, and then we'll talk about the helicopter issue here, or what's happening
was
there.
this search done at 2:15 a.m.? Why did they go to Annie and Tomas's house at 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. when it was dark and not turn on the lights and take photographs inside? I mean, it's just all so bizarre to us. Okay, I want to ask you about now this alert that the sheriff just sent out, saying he's asking for more video. He's asking for the locals, the residents in Nancy's neighborhood, to do what exactly, Phil?
So they're using people who have, I guess, the Ring system, and there's a way to send out alerts asking people for video at certain dates and certain times. And some of these go back into, as I understand it, January, and multiple times prior to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. So the question then obviously is, what's special about those dates? And they're not obviously telling us the reason they're focusing on those dates. But if I had to guess, I had to hypothesize, one hypothesis would be they might be checking to see who has delivered maybe an Amazon package to that area. But, it's not hard to go on somebody's Amazon history and see when they've had things delivered, right? And so they might be trying to identify individuals who were in that area, in that neighborhood, making some type of delivery. We've already seen one person who's a known delivery driver that was taken in for questioning and then released. Yeah.
Poor Carlos. Well,
Yeah.
because there's two communications
Poor
from the
Carlos.
sheriff's office.
Now, she's talking about Carlos, the DoorDash guy down in Rio, very, very close to the Mexican border. It's about 45 minutes away from where Miss Nancy lives. But they went there because they got a tip. They got a lead that Miss Nancy was in their house. Now, he told us his father and his mother live in Tucson. Could it be that they had the wrong people? Don't know. Could it be a false lead? Very possible. Until they give us detailed reports of why, how it all happened, what the results were from it, or anything exact, we just know that they did release him. He was never arrested. He was just detained in the back of the cop car while they searched everything. Took all their electronics so that they could see if there was even an electronic footprint leading back to the evidence they have. Poor Carlos.
Office. One is actually from the sheriff's office and one allegedly isn't. The one that just came out from the Pima County Sheriff says, we want everything for the last month, from January 1st to February 2nd. We want everything you have. Scour your Ring cameras and your Nest cameras and let us know if you see anything suspicious whatsoever, to all the people in the area. And that definitely came from the sheriff, and he just put it out. But then there was an earlier report that was circulated on the neighborhood like Ring Camera Watch chat that you're referring to. And that refers to 2 separate dates on which the sheriff allegedly wants data. The sheriff's office is saying that's we didn't give that, though that Ring camera like discussion, there's a screen grab of it that the neighbors posted, one of them online, and it does show a sheriff's seal and seems to come from the Pima County Sheriff, though the sheriff's office is officially denying that for some reason. It could just be that the sheriff went from the deputies had gone to neighbors and said, we want footage from January 11th between 9 p.m. and midnight. Okay, that's weird, right? January 11th, as far as we know, has nothing to do with this crime, but they know more than we do. And then we also want January 31st. Nancy disappeared. It's the morning, the morning before she disappeared, from 9:30 in the morning to 11 a.m. So Nancy was alive and well then, saying we believe there may have been a, quote, suspicious vehicle on Via Entrada around 10 a.m. Again, they style it in this separate Ring camera discussion group, quote, new timeline for Nancy video requests. And they say it's from the sheriff. Again, the sheriff says that's not from him, but there's definitely an actual post suggesting that the locals believe they've been asked by the sheriff for those 2 dates in particular. And we know for a fact they've been asked for all 30 days prior to and around the actual disappearance. I mean, they're basically crowdsourcing the solution to this crime at this point, Phil.
Now, and it tracks with maybe a neighbor, and they've been talking to all the neighbors. It tracks with a neighbor saying to somebody, the sheriff or the FBI, saying that on January 31st, there was maybe some suspicious vehicle in the area. And so now that the sheriff has that information given by a neighbor, the sheriff's trying to identify that vehicle and determine if in fact it was suspicious or if they can rule it out. But it seems like they're following up on specific leads that they are given by the people that they are interviewing, which are the people in that area.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that is the gray vehicle, the Land Rover or Land Ranger, whatever it's called, Range Rover or whatever. It's a SUV, a gray SUV is the vehicle that they were looking for. It happened to be the gray vehicle that the same night of the raid, they had the hatch up on it with yellow sheets on Range Rover. Thank you, Ron. I keep calling it a Land Rover. That's like a space thing. But anyways, it's the same vehicle that had the sheets while over the sides while they are looking in the back. Is this the vehicle that possibly could have had Miss Nancy in it? Did they take it to test it thoroughly in the back to see, is there any of her DNA back there? We know she had a nosebleed or something to that sort was happening on the front porch. Was that happening inside a vehicle somewhere? Kind of thing. But that's exactly how they're going about getting all this information. All these cameras around Miss Nancy's house is showing this one particular vehicle. Doesn't show it prior to it, doesn't show it afterwards. So let's finish this up. It's not much more here.
It's very smart because look at the cases that we know about. It's like Koberger cased that home repeatedly before he committed the crime in question. Yeah. And also after. We know he went back the morning that he committed the crime in Idaho. It was 4 a.m, between 4 and 4:20. And he was back there by 9:30 that next morning, 5 hours after he'd committed the murders, to look at it. Maybe he realized he left behind evidence.
They know that. They have him on video. They have his car as he's driving around. Oh, there are Land Rover. Thank you, Patty. So I'm not crazy. Okay. Thank you. But yeah, Miss Rhonda's right. It was loaded onto a flatbed and took away so they could test for DNA and look at all the stuff inside that vehicle. It has been one of interest, and they are going to pick it apart to see what they can find. But keep in mind, they're talking about Kohlberger going back to the scene to look at it and all the things, right? Keep that in mind.
And so the sheriff's smart to include the odds that this guy just did this cold and never once drove by the house are very small. So this makes sense to me.
All credit goes to Megan Kelly and MK True Crime there. Megan Kelly and MK True Crime. Those links are in the description of this. So you can go look in the discussion part there and you will find it. I was hoping to get something loaded here. Let me X off of that. Let me X off of that. A Range Rover. Okay. Yes. A Range Rover was sitting there for a while. The Culver's parking lot area is the area where whatever it is Dolly saw happened right in that area there. Okay. They also saw that particular Range Rover parked in that parking lot. Friends, when I tell you there's people that know things that are going on, there are people out there that know more than we do. They know and have all those answers. They are the ones that will solve this case. We're just the ones sitting here trying to scope it all out. You know what I'm saying? Hang on, I found the picture I was looking for. Let me email it to myself so I can pull it up, because this goes right along with what we were talking about and what that man just told us. Let me send it to myself. Here we go. And I'm going to pull up my mail. And then I'm going to show you a picture. Friends, you heard that man speaking. You heard him say my source. Everybody that does this, you get your person that you're getting information from, someone that you absolutely 100% trust. I'm no different. I have someone that I can trust, someone that gets good information, not information that's just BS and put out there and trying to spread rumors and cause all kinds of problems and issues. So when I put something out and I tell you this is what I've been told, it comes from a very reliable source that I'm not going to disclose who it is. And sometimes I don't have that proof right before me, but I can tell you this is what I've heard. This, let me pull this up real quick so I can get it saved, because I need to save it. That way I can zoom in so that we can see for sure what we're looking at. All righty. Thank y'all for being patient with me. I do appreciate it. As we get this saved, now I'm going to open it up. And then that way it is there. We can look at it. We know Kohlberger went back. This man just told us. He just told us. He said Kohlberger went back. She said it. They talked about it. A lot of people go back. They look. They want to see what's going on. Let me show you a picture that was taken from a drone. And what do you know? There's Miss Nancy's house. There's her pool back there, her little circle driveway. That's her front door. Everybody see what I'm seeing? Can you see what I'm seeing? Let me make it a little bigger for you. What do we have here? What do we have right here? Do you see what I'm seeing? Yeah, Texas Plain Jane. They really should. But it's sad. Everybody wants receipts. Prove it, prove it, prove it. No, I'm not going to. There you go. Looky who comes zooming by. The exact same Range Rover. From what I understand, these license plates right here were looked into, and it was the exact same one that drove by Miss Nancy's house that morning, early morning, 9:30 to 11 on January 31st. The exact same one, scoping it out. Yeah. So I thought that was very interesting, went right along with what Megyn Kelly was talking about a while ago. And I just had to share that. And you can see all the news crews set up all their tents and things right here. It goes on way far, every direction. It goes back and back and back and back, further down the road. I wonder if this person was just gleaming with... No, I don't have it on. Everything's muted. What did he just ask? Let me stop sharing this. But I wanted to show y'all this because here's a sheriff's car right there. You can barely see it, but it was sitting right up in there, not allowing people up in there. When this car, the very most important car they've been looking for this whole entire time, just cruises right through all the media. I wonder if that's the white van that we saw earlier. Just cruising right past security. There was nothing written on the side of it that said SWAT, FBI, police, nothing. It happened to be the same type of van they were looking for that had no plate. Most perps go back to the scene of their crimes. They want to see and know what is happening. Exactly. Exactly. And there's the Range Rover. And so, Dan, what question did he ask? If the suspect got rid of the backpack and holster in the landfill. Let's see. Coinbit says, yeah, over 2 weeks, need medicine, blood drops. That was probably hers. They did confirm it was her blood. And I agree with you, Coinbit. I do not believe Miss Nancy is still alive. You know, I just don't think so. I don't think she made it out of that home alive. I completely wonder, now that we know that blood on that front porch was more than likely a nose bleed. More than likely. They tested that blood. Did it have like mucus type things in your nose in that blood? Is that how they're determining, it was pretty much from a nosebleed? Did that nosebleed just happen? Does she just have nosebleeds when she stresses out, or was she actually possibly attacked? Did she hear them coming in and get up out of her bed? Did Miss Nancy fight for her life? Were they supposed to just take her and hold her until there was a ransom paid? Did something go wrong? And then they had to get rid of Miss Nancy somehow? Is that why when her family asked for proof of life, all they got was where her watch was? Which I believe, when I say, it was probably by her bedside. And they say, we destroyed the lights outside, the floodlights. Well, hell, you saw all those news reporters. They saw that. They won. They won. Everybody could see it. It was right there in front of us. They weren't taken down. Everybody knew about that. That is not proof of life. That might tell us, hey, you were there. You looked up, you saw it. A landfill was 20 minutes away from the house. Well, I will tell you this, that gray SUV and that white van, I do not believe passed through any cameras at intersections. I believe they both stayed up in that neighborhood the whole entire time. It did look like a bad nosebleed, and that's why I'm wondering if somebody hit her really, really hard. I don't know. Tracks from a wheelchair. Very possible. Very possible. I think it would be easier to take her out in a wheelchair if she had a wheelchair. If they were taking her through the backwoods and stuff, I don't want to say woods because I live in the woods. They live in the desert. They live in the cactus. But it would probably be easier getting through all that in a wheelchair than to walk her out of there, to carry her out of there, or even to pull her with a tarp or anything. If they had a wheelchair, that would be amazing. Probably a better way to go. But there would have been tracks. Yes, ma'am. Very much so. We know that to leave out of her neighborhood, there's a red light there. There's the Circle K, there's a red light. That red light had cameras. They've checked them. They've looked at those cameras. That they have looked at every car driving through and inspected them. I'm sure the FBI has been there, looked at it, analyzed it themselves, and they have better equipment and can clear it up down to the eye color of the person inside the car. But yet they don't know where Miss Nancy is. So that tells us, did she not leave out of that area? Is that what we can say? Or did she just not leave out of that area in a vehicle that you can see from front to back, we'll say? Be hard to get the wheelchair due to steps out front. I wonder what the back of her house looked like, Michelle. The back door was left open. So, supposedly, let me use that word because we don't want to get any information confused. Yeah, right, Michelle. She seems to be a ninja just like Sebastian. Guys, I'm seriously thinking on doing a comparison between the two cases because there's quite a bit here. And talking earlier with a friend, I made the comment, with Sebastian's case, we assume they don't have nothing or they would have done something. But then again, we don't know what they have or don't have. Here in Miss Nancy's case, everybody's been able to walk around her property at the very first. They saw the blood. That wasn't put out for us. News put that out. We know there was a SWAT because every media that had a vehicle was chasing them down to find them. And JLR showed all of them packed up in there looking, trying to see what they can see. We've watched as they have walked through that cactus area looking for things. JLR walked beside them. Those were FBI agents. We never saw that with Sebastian's case. They're over there by Miss Nancy's walking. There was others over by Annie's house walking house to house, searching around their house, in their backyards if they were allowed to, looking up in their garage area, those kind of things, walking. All of the work that was being done on foot that we could physically see, we are actually seeing in Miss Nancy's case, and it makes it seem as if they've done so much more than what's been done in Sebastian's case. But Sebastian's case, we've heard nothing. Nothing. Although we know Sumner County Sheriff Office was there. There were 2 or 3 other different agencies there from other little towns and counties. We know the TBI was there. We know the FBI was there. All of that within the first 24 hours. They were all boots on ground. They were all actively doing what they do. After listening to this man speak to us that we just listened to a while ago with Megyn Kelly, and he's telling us of this possible phone that got left behind, a phone that possibly pinged to Miss Nancy's Wi-Fi, a phone that pinged to other Wi-Fi along a certain route going in the same direction the gloves were found. Go past where those gloves were found, and there will be the house a little ways down that was raided. It is all within that section area there. If they followed the pings of that phone, then they started going over to Annie's house and doing the same thing they had just done at Miss Nancy's house. Does that mean that phone pinged close to Annie's house as well? Was it pinged at her house? Was it pinged close to her house? Was it pinged in that area? Is that what took him there? Guys, we don't have the answers to that. We don't have the answers ever since we saw with our own eyes this SWAT action happening the other night. Friends, law enforcement has been very quiet. Very, very quiet. It was put out. Let me find it here. I got it right here. Where do I have it? Let me find it again. Hang on. I got it. I got it somewhere here. Let me go back to it. There was, once again, Brian Hinton. He seems to be the person that the FBI and the sheriff's office talk to and speak with. He put out, investigators have used what is called a signal sniffer. It is a small device that was sent in and attached to the sheriff's helicopter. It can detect Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker signal. The helicopter has to stay low and move slow for this to work. Friends, let me tell you, her watch disconnected from her pacemaker. Her watch is attached. It was an Apple Watch. It is basically cloned off of her phone. Her phone more than likely had the same app. And therefore, all you need is that SIMS card to attach to these little signal things to get a ping from her pacemaker. You know, it's funny because I put out earlier how, you could drive around. Even Retha Bell was on here one day. We were talking about Miss Nancy, and she says, hey, why doesn't somebody drive around with her watch, see if it picks up? Very good thinking. I made a comment about that, and there was a whole big post stating how that is not possible. It doesn't happen. Friends, the sheriff's is actually doing it right now. FBI, law enforcement, all the things. That's exactly what they're doing. I'm going to say this, though, and this is just my opinion only. It should have been done day one. Within 24 hours, this should have already been done. I don't understand why they're going to fly a helicopter that has to stay low and move very slowly. I know someone that was wanting to go and do the exact same thing with the drone. It could have worked if it would have been early on. Not quite so sure, but you got to take a chance. You have to try it. And this signal sniffer is coming from the app from her home. All they got to do is get that signal. And if the app is on her phone, they could take that SIM card, put it into this little gadget, and it can pick it up. Because her watch is attached to her phone. And yes, a pacemaker sends a signal. It's not going to give your location, but if you have a pattern you're following from evidence found inside her home that leads you all the way down, going towards the entrance and out of her neighborhood, You could very well have picked it up. I'm so glad to see that this was put out there, because when I mentioned it, I was like basically called out for it because I was wrong. Guess what? I wasn't. I wasn't. I'm not going to put stuff out there that tells something that misleads everybody in a whole complete different direction and thinks one way. No, I'm not going to do it. Our Blue Eyes Jewel, she even told me herself she was on a roller coaster. Had to go through a little gate thing. It turned off her pacemaker. They knew her location. They were there when her roller coaster ended to check her. They knew her location. It happens. Pacemakers will not stop until they either run out of battery or it's got to run out of battery. Now, it was, in a chat that I was in that said their father had just minutes left. And during that process, that last few minutes, they ran a magnet across his heart where his pacemaker was, because it turned off his pacemaker. Yeah, Miss Rhonda, that's it. It's aggravating me because, guys, I told y'all they can find her location. They can. There's ways it can happen. No, her pacemaker is not going to send out a bat signal so everybody can look in the sky and say, oh, there's the beam. Let's follow it. That's not what I said. I just hope you guys understand that I'm not going to put out some stupid information. When I say I've got information, I've been told this. Guys, I wouldn't say anything that's wrong. I'm not going to put bad information out there. Just like I talked about her pacemaker, getting that ping type situation, that signal, that hookup, that connection. I put that out there because that's what I had heard. It's what I was told. I didn't tell details. And now it's being told, oh, guess what they're doing? I'm so sick of people that feel like they are the only ones that has the truth. I honestly believe after this and the pacemaker situation, there will be tweaks and new designs come out to where a person can have a pacemaker that will ping their location. I'm pretty sure her daughter or both of her daughters would have had the app on their phones that would have shown her location at all times. Look at Live 360. People do that all the time. Her children probably, if was approached and said, hey, we can do something here to make it where if you need to know where your mother's at and can't get a hold of her, you can turn your phone on and you'll get her location. $10, that's going to be coming next for pacemakers, because it would be so crucial right now at this very minute. Blue's doctor got an alert. He had people go to where she was. The technology is going to improve, and maybe Miss Nancy will be the reason why it'll get so fine-tuned. Maybe they can do that. Because that would be amazing if she would have had it. But guys, I have a feeling we've gotten so much information over these last 2 weeks. I have a feeling we're not going to get much more. I heard there was things actively taking place today, but it was done very quietly. Whatever it would be. I think after putting out Hey SWAT and Bomb Squad and all the things over the scanner, and there was one channel doing nothing but playing the scanner all day long, all night long. And media went. I have a feeling things are about to shift to where we're not going to see anything happening anymore. It's going to be done very discreetly. And probably the way it should have been done in the very beginning. Yogi, she didn't have dementia that we've heard. I have never read an article, heard anyone say that Miss Nancy had dementia. She was still very active. Very, very active. As active as her body would allow her. And she still participated with all kinds of things. I think only a select few will get information. It will be put out by them. Brian Enton seems to be their person that they rely on because he's only putting out what they tell him. Yeah, she was very sharp. She was very alert, very okay. Just her body was wanting to wear out, and it was hard for her to walk. And then her heart, but no dementia. Well, not that I've heard. But for her to be living alone, I think she would have been very well, doing very well. Yeah, I don't think it's true, Yogi, but and I say that only because no one else has ever said it. Her daughters haven't said it. Her son never said it. They talked about how loved and beloved she was, how her friends and her family and her church and everything miss her. She was very active. Yeah, Miss Rhonda says, my brain is sharp as a tack, but my body says out of here. So yeah, I think that's what it was. Her body just, it gives out on you. After I did that 6-hour live the other night sitting here, and then over on Brittany J's for another 3 hours, y'all, it took my back about 2 days before I could ever sit down. Yeah, guys, I love Pat Brown. I love her. She is so very knowledgeable, very good at what she does. I don't think she should have ever just called out JLR. She shouldn't have just put him out there. She should have put every single person out there that was doing exactly what he did. That was very not fair. Very not fair to him. I think that was it was Yeah, she said JLR needs to be arrested. He didn't do anything more than everybody else did. Oh, yeah. Yogi, I'm so sorry. So you get that back pain, huh? I tell you, I much rather had been up for and moving and cruising and walking, and yeah, it just don't happen sometimes. But boy, you asked me to type up a document, I got it. You asked me to write up a speech or something like that, I got you. My brain's okay. Kylie, I don't think it's just, and this is a whole conversation I had on Facebook with one particular anonymous person. I love how everybody wants to be anonymous. I don't think it should have been, let's call out YouTubers. There were TikTokers out there. There were news affiliates out there. They were all at some point or another sharing information. CNN was out there. They begged JLR to do an interview with them. Begged him. The AP was there. CNN was there. Fox News was there. News Nation was there. ABC was there. CBS was there. There was a Mexican station, Hispanic station. It was there because they did a thing, and they were not far from the camera of JLR's when I just would be listening to it, and it was all in Spanish. There were tons and tons and tons and tons of media type people there. You know what I'm saying? Don't just call out one. That's just not cool. Of course, this person over on Facebook decided to add in, well, he shouldn't get paid for being out there. He shouldn't be able to make money on his channel. Why? JLR was out there doing a whole lot. Other people were sitting under their tents waiting for somebody to tell them something. JLR was out moving around, looking around. We got to see the whole terrain. We got to see the distance in the drive between Nancy's house and Annie's house. We got to see, all the different places throughout there. Everybody else sat under their tents. Why shouldn't he get it? Why shouldn't he make money? They're making money while they sit there. And TJ, I just wanted to come on and talk about Miss Nancy. There were some things that I had found out and heard, so I wanted to talk about it all. But don't worry, you're a good girl. We got it. We got it. But yeah, Pat Brown called out JLR, and yeah, I just don't think it should have been just him. She could have played his video and showed every person stacked up down the whole roads, all out there, every one of them. Oh, TJ, don't you worry. Go back to doing your fence lines, whatever you need to do, girl. We're good. We're good. So, hold on. We're going to go to JLR and see what kind of info he just had. Earlier today, I was watching and somebody had posted on Facebook, this needs to be called in. But this person tried to call it in and nobody would listen to him, but there was a black glove down in the back bridge down that away. Well, they wanted JLR to call it in. He's like, no, I ain't going to do that. I don't even know if this is real or not. So he drove down that way and there was a black glove. But I mean, who knows if it wasn't just put there? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Guys, I really think that white van that we saw on JLR's the other night is the white van that was used to get those other two I think they had it parked somewhere behind that house. Hold on, let me see. Hang tight. Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit more. We're going to go about here. We'll hang tight. Let me get us over there. Let's go see what he's going on. I just don't think so. I just don't think so. Pat Brown is an ex-FBI. She is retired FBI. That's who she is. She has a channel, and I love how she does her channel and the things she talks about in her experience and her knowledge and all the things. And, does JLR need to be arrested? Well, if he does, they need a big sale because all the other ones should be arrested as well. That's just my opinion, though. Dolly should be in there. CNN, ABC, NBC, Fox, News Nation, all of them. They were all out there doing the same things. They walked all over the property. All of them. They went all chasing down the SWAT. JLR didn't make nobody go. He didn't even tell nobody he was going. They all started following him. Wasn't his fault. He didn't tell them to. So let's go here and see what we got going on with JLR. Let's do this.
Was here. All right.
I'm trying to make it bigger.
Where? They don't care, or they just feel like it's not related, or they got their.
Is he just now leaving the?
We're off
the bridge area. Let's see here. All right, let's go from here. That's it. She's a criminal profiler. Thank you. I couldn't think of those words. See, it takes the teamwork, it's teamwork over here.
And we shall see.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Rhonda. He was.
Back at the car. We have a routine. We go put the thing in the slot. We unfold the tripod. Where is Nancy? Do-do-do. 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 All right, we're on our way to Annie and Tommaso's. Everyone wants to know about Annie and Tommaso. Do you feel like they're involved or not? Innocent victims. You want to learn more? You're unsure. Authorities have not publicly cleared anyone in this case. Tommaso's the last person to see Nancy alive. January 31st in the evening time. All right, got a traffic jam here, so I'm just going to whip around, turn around. Avoid the traffic jam. Lots of cacti.
Look at that terrain, man.
All right, we're off. We're off. Pima County.
Yeah, we're gonna
Boots on the
watch
ground.
the drive. And I backed it up, guys. Okay, I did go backwards so that we could see what all's happening. Yeah, and you know that he was talking about the gloves. I think it was yesterday. He did it again today. It made me laugh so hard because he says, "If the gloves don't fit, you have to acquit." He went all the way back to the O.J. Simpson trial.
This area has beautiful sunrises and sunsets. Like 70 degrees. 74 today, I think. Oh, we'll make one stop first at the people that got picked up at that raid because their house is on the way. We'll just see if anyone is there. See what's going on there. Maybe they return home. Coincidentally, we might be able to bump into them and ask them for comment on why they were considered.
I agree, Michelle.
Detained.
And
What
Patty,
got
I do too.
authorities to detain additional people. Probable cause. Say in probable cause a ham sandwich. Just like you can indict a ham sandwich. Probable cause. What type of
And Miss Rhonda says, fun fact, no traffic cams from Nancy Guthrie's house to the SWAT house. No traffic cams from the SWAT house to the Circle K. They didn't see her leave out of that neighborhood. All these little roads here, they have one way out, one way in.
probable cause that authorities have to detain an individuals there present? A link to Nancy?
Okay, he's going to go by the perp's house here. I mean, the SWAT house here. So y'all can see it real good. Look at that terrain. Could you imagine carrying somebody out and all that? Walking through all that? But remember,
Strong link.
law enforcement went there out in all that because of a possible
Thank you.
thing.
Buckle up, Julie says. Buckle up. It's the law. DNA coming out. Need water. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. DNA. We might know something within 24 hours. That hit. Could. We could be optimistic, right? Did the perp leave the glove?
Now you see right there to that way right there to the left. There's no cameras on that one.
Remains to be seen. That would be a big break and a big misstep, similar to Brian Kohlberger leaving the knife sheath at the scene. The perp goes down the street and discards gloves. Possible?
The gloves were found right up here along this route, and this is the way they would have had to go to the house if those people were involved. All they would have to do is roll down a window and throw them out. I know, right, Miss Rhonda? Yeah. There was no traffic cams this whole drive that we're seeing right here. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate y'all so much.
And we're going to those people's homes just to see if anyone returned home. They haven't been seen.
And right here, guys, right in front of us is where the barricade was. Okay? When JLR was standing by that black pole with the white light on the top to the right, he spun the camera around. All that news crew people was right about the front of where his car is. They were all packed right here because right across that road was the barricade.
Talk about Luke. Luke.
So they had all of this barricaded. Nobody could get in or out.
Whoa. I ran over a pothole or manhole. Look. You can hear it. All right. Make a right. Almost here, right up here on the right.
This whole neighborhood was on lockdown.
$857 has his vehicle. It's the house. This is where all the SWAT and all this stuff happened Friday
That's
night.
where it happened right there, guys. Now the mother and the son came out the front.
Doesn't appear anyone's home.
I still wonder if anyone went out
Except
the
that
back.
car. Huh. They still haven't returned home. Did they go in hiding? Well, they probably don't want like the media or anyone. Brian was there earlier. Enton. I've seen lots of journalists here. Going door to door. No, I'm not gonna knock. I knocked a couple days ago. I'm not going back on the property. I knocked. I did the one knock. I made a video.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom us through now. Okay, we're gonna get through it a little bit.
Okay, what's going on? All right, Annie and Tommaso's.
Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I didn't have time to mute before my sneeze hit.
Anyone getting Nancy fatigue?
We really are. We need her found. My heart just breaks for her family.
Tomatoes.
For her.
I'm
Okay,
saying that word right.
Cruise out of here.
Slacking.
Hang tight, guys. We're getting us out of here. Okay, this is back where he's going to turn.
The perp. All right, in a second, we'll be making a left.
He's going to make that left turn. Hold on.
Stressed him.
Okay, he's just cruising down this road. Nothing there, nothing there.
There's a man running down the street with a backpack dressed in black. Seriously, I'm not playing.
Oh, Lord. Going back around.
We'll go look.
Oh, JLR.
See him. He's way up there.
These
See him.
cameras don't work here.
And in a backpack.
Okay, we're gonna go back. There's the man right there, I guess.
See him? I'm gonna go up farther. As soon as these cars go by. A lot of people probably hitchhiking around here or just walking. It's
Yeah.
worth noting.
We're just checking out the man with the backpack, and then I'm gonna zoom on.
Now he's running.
Well, obviously he's not anybody that's trying to run from the law, or he wouldn't be out there. So there we go. Let's get on down the road. Oh Lord, JLR.
Oh, continuous coverage of Nancy Guthrie.
Okay, here we go. We're back at the red light.
The perp out there. If the perp is
Keep going.
like creek bed, basin, if I'm using that right word, but there's one in back of, whoa, there's another one.
Oh,
No, I'm just saying there's another dude walking along with a backpack.
people are everywhere with backpacks. Come on, JLR, give us a break.
You know, but somebody could have gave it to him. Somebody else could have bought it for him at a different time. They could have had it years ago. I don't know, you know, when they were made. Let me look.
Okay. This area has traffic cams. Okay. Just so everybody's clear, this area is the first traffic cam.
Backpack here. I got the backpack.
Yeah,
Here.
Michelle.
It says 2024 Walmart INC.
He bought the exact backpack off Walmart. Hey, go check that bang. Is he at the Circle K? Let's go back and see what we're doing.
To get surveillance. That's on the corner of the building right there.
Yeah, there it is.
There's surveillance there on the corner of the building of the Circle K.
Okay. Oh, wait. I want to go back for a minute.
Multiple of corner of the building right there. There's surveillance there on the corner of the building of the Circle K.
Is that the Culvers? Is that the Culvers on the other side, or is it over here by the Circle K? I don't know where Culvers is, but that's where everything happened. I thought it was closer to the Circle K on the other side of Circle K. I may be wrong, but that's what I thought.
Multiple locations on the Circle K has surveillance.
That Culver's parking lot area is where everything went bad that night. One person possibly unalived.
Out of that.
All righty. Get on down the road. There is Annie and Tommaso's house. I don't know when or
You
if
don't hear coyotes.
they are coming back to their home.
Where's the landfill? That's a great question. Where is the landfill? This crime might have discarded things in the trash, which end up at
Very much
Pima
so.
County.
Maybe they have
Trash
put
go in the
landfills. Who knows?
Catalina transfer station.
Hold on. Let's go past this.
My name is Scott. This is my wife, Sherry.
Scott and Sherry, nice to meet you. Hello. Hi.
Is this it?
You came down from Phoenix. Oh, can I show your little doggy?
Of course you can.
Okay. Look at that. What's your little doggy's name?
That's Maxwell.
Maxwell. All right, guys. You guys watch the channel, and you guys been following this case.
Yes, we have been. Yeah.
So, what do you think?
I think she's got an opinion.
What's your opinion? We'd love to hear it. Look, you got 39,000 people watching.
Oh, wow. My opinion is it's usually family, somebody you know, close. And I think that there could be a couple of close family members that are involved, possibly.
Close family members. The opinion.
That's my opinion.
That's we want to hear from the people. We want to hear what public has to say, right?
Yeah.
During the course of this whole 2 weeks here, I've heard a variety of opinions in the scenarios, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone's watching. Everyone has a thought about the situation. Everyone thinks.
Yeah.
So you think it's someone close to the family.
Well, yeah, because how did they know where all the cameras were?
Go past
and
the couple.
everything like
Thank you, Miss Kathy.
We took a picture.
I was
Yeah,
over
on the
here,
gravel.
Scott.
Just comes and they just mailbox. Me, they're
Hold on, we're getting past the
therefore
couple.
no one.
Exactly.
I bet that neighborhood just
Foresight,
wants
yes.
to get their
Foresight.
neighborhood back into normal.
Clips or just clips. Break what
Exactly. Well, and that was.
everything's subject to change.
Hold on, he talked to them a lot.
Will too.
They always night.
Exactly.
Lord.
There was
Did I go too far?
hello. Back behind the house here, there's this gigantic basin, but I saw on the map there was like a dirt road back here, and because gigantic basin, but I saw on the map there was like a dirt road back here, and because like right near Roller Coaster Road. I never went down this road ever. So I'm kind of just what I'm doing is I'm kind of just looking
Oh,
on
look.
this terrain here.
Look at that terrain,
That piqued
man.
my interest on the map. There's just so much of it. But I saw a cul-de-sac dirt road.
Let's go a little further. I'm trying to get to it. Y'all tell me if I gone too far or keep going or what.
Grande Avenue. Now the feds, looks like there's a giant school over there, but the feds went down this.
He already listened to the news report.
No, it was here. Is that somebody's driveway? I don't think this is a driveway. I think this is an actual road.
Almost
But
there.
I'm not sure. Oh. But I think this is a private driveway. I can't go down because I see mailboxes. I think it's a private drive. But it goes back, the feds were all looking in here. They were walking through this area, but it really piques my interest.
Daniel, I'm not going to be much longer. Once we get this, then we'll end it out here.
All right, we'll go back in front of Tommaso.
Okay.
Where? Oh, I met. How far is school from here? Is that... The school.
Oh, wait. Okay, let's listen here. I think I heard something right there.
I kind of want to stay away from the schools. You know what I mean?
Oh, Cecilia, been praying for you. I prayed for everybody today.
Now I don't feel comfortable live streaming up there at the school.
I'm glad he didn't go to the school. I'm really glad he
Even though
didn't.
it's closed. Yeah, some people say don't go. I mean, we don't even. The feds have not. Now, if the authorities go up that way, whatever, like that, then that's fair game. Go see Jim. Where's Jim at?
Look at everybody just coming to look.
Give me a second. Somebody was like waving. Let's see. Somebody got some note or something. Let's see. Somebody has a note in their hand. They're coming over. Let's see what they have to say. Hello.
My name is Samantha Ornelas. I live in the Catalina foothills.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, and I was wondering if I could talk to you like.
Sure. I'll mute it. I'm going to mute.
Okay, let's get past the mute. Is this the part, y'all?
I'll share. But just stand by. I'm gonna mute it here. She don't want to be on record talking her voice or anything. So we protect anonymity. So
Lord, I thought he was on mute. Okay. Thanks, Dan. Let's see what we got here, guys.
Case is crazy.
Okay, wait, let's go back.
The Catalina.
Okay, let's stay here.
All right. So, a group of people from the Catalina foothills. They think this case is crazy. And she just shared with me. She just gave me a picture. We never talked about this, and I don't know if anyone's aware of this, but what she said, two things that touched in. A lot of stuff we already know, but she's like, if you go to the house right now, in their door, there is a card inside their door.
Oh, okay.
And she just let me copy this picture, and she said, it's Deborah M. from Advanced Investigator Adult Protective Services.
Okay, we already knew about that.
From the internet, she says it's completely scrubbed from the internet. She also says no investigators in that area.
Hold on, let's go back. What's scrubbed from the internet?
I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but this is in their door. Okay, some people are saying it's been all over X. Okay, but what she's saying is that there could be some people are saying old news. Okay, there you go. Well, I wasn't aware of this thing. People posted on X, but now she's saying she personally took this picture. She also says that if you go...
Okay, so that means this woman walked up on that porch. Daisy, thank you. Thank you, sweetie. But guys, that means this woman walked up on that porch and took a picture. It should be an active crime scene till Miss Nancy is home. Nobody should be allowed to go up there. That's crazy. That card is up on the little window beside where the doorbell ring camera was at. Thank you so much, Daisy. You are so sweet, love. I appreciate you. And to the person that got that membership, if you would please tell our Daisy thank you, because that was so gracious. And for our new member, welcome to the South.
Welcome, welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a name and get down? Welcome to the South.
Welcome to our newest member. We are so excited to have you here with us and part of our family. And Daisy, you are so sweet. Thank you, love. Okay, let's finish listening to what he had to say here. But that is crazy that that lady could just walk up there and take a picture.
Nancy Guthrie right now, and all her backstories, who she is, has been completely scrubbed from the internet. Do you know anything about that being scrubbed from the internet? She says it's completely scrubbed from the internet. She also says no investigators in that area have really gone outside that box there where they live. It's news to me.
So I have heard that was going to be happening, that Savannah's information, Miss Nancy's information, even Annie's information is being scrubbed out because they don't want all these wild theories based off of what little they're finding by pulling up backstories.
But here's the thing is, why was Deborah M. with Adult Investigative
Thank you,
Services?
Cecilia,
She says
for dropping
that
those.
it has to be elevated to certain levels. It has to get to certain levels before it gets to this. It has to be like a 3-level thing. So I don't know. Somebody investigating Nancy for elder abuse and she suddenly vanishes. Well, who was abusing her, if that's true?
All right. So yeah, we got to see all that. We've talked about that because Brian Ninton did his first interview up there on the porch of Miss Nancy's house, and he saw, or the blood on the porch and the camera thing being missing, all of that. I took a screenshot from that video and it showed a blank card. Later, everybody had the card with all that information out, so everybody could read it. It should have stayed turned because that's how it was in the beginning. But I don't know. Look, people are there. They've been dropping flowers off earlier today. JLR asked a guy, if he was bringing flowers, and he was a florist delivering flowers. Her neighbors, her friends, family members, they're having flowers delivered for Miss Nancy, and they're all yellow. Yellow is the color for Miss Nancy. And that's the thing, Patty. I don't know. You would have thought, and I even showed that card. I brought it up. What is this card there? If the day before law enforcement had gone and got all the evidence and everything, why is it that card still there? And there was an Amazon package there as well.
I'm on your way.
Were those there when she went missing?
Let me know if you got to get out or anything.
No, we don't. We're here until 10.
You're here at 10?
The,
Long night.
10 o'clock.
The video
guys
footage
coming up with
put
any
out.
good exclusives or sleuthing or what?
And from that, we could see there was no card up there until Brian Ninton went up there. So sometime after that card got put up there.
CODIS. Looks like this guy's going in CODIS.
Very strange to me. And then on top of that,
not you.
Later, the card is shown, and you saw what JLR was showing, where it had the elderly abuse, the adult protective services for elderly people. It wasn't like that in the beginning. It was turned to where if you were inside, you could see the writing, but from the outside, you saw solid white. Somebody took it out and turned it around to where everybody could read it.
Y'all are great though. Yeah, keep coming whenever there's something going, whether it's
Nothing
SWAT
should
or
ever be touched.
related, whatever like that.
But that's what happens when you don't have anything coordinated enough to block off the whole entire property area. But okay, well, he's back there at Miss Nancy's house. People are everywhere doing their thing. And friends, Miss Nancy is still missing. No one seems to know where she's at. And that's the worst part. You know, it seems as if, just like Sebastian, Miss Nancy just disappeared in the middle of the night. Although with Sebastian, we know for a fact that Miss Nancy had visitors on her camera into the late early morning or early morning time. Guys, before we get out of here, hold on. I got something to show y'all. Let me get my camera on. Looky what I got. Look at that sweet little baby. It's hard to tell. Turn on the big light so they can see her. This is one of our newest little babies. There her is.
Can't keep her up here for long.
I know.
Because Abby's gonna
She just gets up here and she snuggles down and goes to sleep. But wait, let me show them. That's how big she is. She fits in my hand. And the sweetest little face. Oh, big yawns.
Yeah, they just woke up.
Alrighty, there you go, sister. Her ears are starting to open. Anyways, my granddaughter brought her up here, but y'all remember, just like with Sebastian's case, Miss Nancy, she's the reason we're all here. She's the most important part of this whole story. As far as what law enforcement is doing, it's none of our business. And I do hope that they start having it very quiet, because just like the helicopter and having the ping for her pacemaker, that should have never been put out until after it was done. Because now they can, if they have her, move her. Lisa says, I will take that baby lolly. We have 5 of them and they are all different colored. They are all different. It is so fun. But yeah, none of this information should be put out. It should be done very quietly. I honestly believe that. I will forever believe that, because whoever has Miss Nancy, wherever she is, it would be very easily accessible to the person who knows where she is. They can go move her. And we'll keep updated, guys. Like I said, if I tell you some things that I hear, I trust my source. I trust my person. I'm not going to give you information that is so off the wall that I'm making it up. I promise you. Unlike what others want to say, I'm never going to do that to y'all. I wouldn't do that to Miss Nancy. It's not right to her to do that. I'm just going to tell you what we know. But until law enforcement puts out a statement, we don't have facts. It's what it is, just like with Sebastian's case. Until law enforcement puts it out there, we can't say what's true and what's not true. We can just speculate. But I do think things are being done. I think they have things that are going to lead them in the right direction to the right person that can get them to Miss Nancy. So let's keep our prayers up for her as always. Oh, I was going to show y'all. I'm sitting in church today, guys. I have battled over the last few days because everything I put out, somebody's trying to buck up against me on it. And I've just been very frustrated. Trying not to let it bother me. And I was sitting in church, and it was time for everybody just to kind of meet and greet and shake hands and all that kind of thing. Well, I had a lady that walked up to me, and she was an older lady. And she said, I am so glad you were here today. She said, I told myself next time I wear this and she's in church, I'm giving this to you. And I was very confused for a minute. And then she said, you told me one day how much you loved my necklace. She said, this was my mother's. And she said, I want you to have it. And it is a hologram type of necklace. And it's actually an angel that comes to life when the sun hits it just right. And out of the blue, it was her mother's, and she gave it to me. I was reminded at that minute, there are good people out here. There are very good people. And I honestly believe I have the best that come and hang out with me every time I go live. So thank you for being my people. I do love and appreciate y'all. And today I was reminded I have my people. So I appreciate you. I really do. I love you guys so much. And be safe out on the streets. It's a little crazy out there, but we'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Till then, love and hugs, everybody. Good night.